Hi, my name is Thomas Jacobson. In this video we're going to be going over the updates to the CsvToDtf app. We're now on version 2.1. The first and probably most important update to this program is the option to run the full process automatically. If you remember from my previous video, the full process will download CSV files from an FTP site, convert those CSV files into DTF files, and then import those DTF files into a database. Now, running that automatically, the user won't need to have any interaction with the program. So to set up the automation, the user will go to Options, Setup. Now we have this dialog here, polling interval. So I'm going to check this box, the Run Full Process box, and in this box, in this text field, I want to give a numerical value. And here I want to select the units for the time interval. So I have minutes, hours, days, or weeks. For now I'm going to leave this as 1 minute every 60 seconds. I'm going to click OK. And now I see automation started. So that means that in the next interval, so in 60 seconds, the CSV files are going to be downloaded. The full process is going to be run. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go over some of the other features that we've added. One of the important ones is zones. We have this thing here called zones. And zones are a nice way of storing information that the user may have entered previously. It's just a nice way to keep the user from having to type the same values over and over. What I've got here, I have zone 1 and zone 2. When I go to zone 2, see the serial number updates, and really all the other values are being updated as well. They're just the same. So I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to add a new zone. To do this, you go to Options, click Add New Zone, and here we actually see that some of the information is already populated for us. And that's just because the database information is generally going to stay the same. It can be modified if the user wishes, but because it's usually the same, we're trying to fill it in for the user already. So for the blank fields, I'm going to just enter some information here, just really quick. Maybe for the server name, I'm going to change that to add a 2, and here I'll just make the password a little longer and change that as well. So when I click Add, you see here new zone 3 successfully added. So when I go back to the full process dialog, and I could go to any of these dialogues, the zone will still be there. You see zone 1, and when I select new zone 3, so all of this information updates to match what's in new zone 3. If I go back, you see this. If I click Save, it's going to save the zone as well as all of the information with that zone, but it's not going to run the full process. It's just going to save that information for when we decide to run the full process. Just want to point out that the automation is currently running. We see that it ran once at 12:05, and then a minute later at 12:06 it ran again. However, there aren't any new files to be downloaded, so it's not downloading, it's not running the full process. It's just informing us that there are no new files to download. One of the other big features is running the CsvToDtf program in the taskbar, or in the system tray. The reason for this is because with automation, there's really no need for the user to interact with this software, so it doesn't make sense to have it as a window taking up space. So if you go to File, Run in Taskbar, we see that the window actually disappears. And you can't see it on my screen, but that icon in the top left is now in the system tray. When I double click on the icon, see that it returns. The icon I'm referring to is right here. So those are the major changes. One minor change that I'd like to go over is in the import CSV files and in the full process dialog as well. In the serial number, if you put in all caps all, what's going to happen is when it's downloading CSV files, it's going to go to every recorder in the FTP site and download new files for each of those, not just one serial number, but all of them. And then as moving forward, once the files are downloaded, they are separated into their own serial number folders. So those are the major changes for the CsvToDtf app. I'm Thomas Jacobson. Thanks for watching.